Through the large windows of Robyn Brown's opulent home, the Arizona morning sun gently flowed over the mountains. However, what had seemed like a dream suddenly loomed like a cage made of gold. Silent tension crackled like electricity within the house. Over immaculate, pricey, and polished granite counters and luxury bar stools, the air conditioner hummed. But what's behind that dazzling exterior? Trouble. Robyn sat motionless at the kitchen table, her hands shaking as she gripped a letter. This was one of multiple collections notices, this one for a $2,220 debt on a forgotten card that had been floating for more than a year. The menacing words, "Final notice before legal action," swept across her eyes. The front door closed with a clatter. Kody barged in with furrowed brows. He slammed another envelope next to her and snarled, "Tell me this isn't real." Another bill. Another damn past due. "You maxed out the second card." The words, I thought we were paying the minimums," stumbled Robyn. Her meticulously styled hair fell into her face as she dropped her eyes, and her voice broke. "I didn't know they'd send it to collections, Kody." "I was handling it," yelled Kody. "We're $2,220 underwater on just this, and that's not counting the car, utilities, and that godforsaken security system you had to have." The towering ceilings reverberated with his voice. Robyn jerked to her feet and walked toward the window, her arms encircling her body. She yelled, "You wanted me to have the house. You said this was our fresh start." Kody laughed sharply and bitterly. "Flagstaff was supposed to be our second chance. This mansion? That was your fairy tale, Robyn. I gave you everything. And now I'm broke. No wives left, no money, and one overpriced house we can't even heat properly." Rewind 18 months before, following a salesman and a reluctant Kody, Robyn moved like royalty through an upscale furniture shop. "I want the living room to feel like Versailles," she said with enthusiasm. "Something timeless, romantic." The salesperson patted the velvet couch and said, "This one's imported from Italy." "Perfect," Robyn remarked with a beautiful smile. Kody watched the invoice's amount increase and swallowed hard. $8,000. "Make a swipe." "Accepted." The future is about to bite again. The confessional room in the present, under the harsh lights of the TLC interview room, Kody sat by himself with his arms folded. "I gave Robyn full control over our finances. She said she needed a stable home, a sanctuary. I trusted her," he grumbled. "Now, we're being threatened with collections over $2,200. $2,200. That's the number that broke the royal couple of Flagstaff." Cut to Robyn, who is sitting in her own interview chair with red eyes. "I just wanted peace. We'd been through so much. I thought if we finally had something of our own, it would all settle down. I thought..." Her voice was shaking. "I thought it was love." Days later at the bank office, a professionally dressed loan officer looked over the rims of his spectacles at Kody and Robyn, who sat rigidly across from them. "I'm sorry, but with your current credit utilization and outstanding delinquencies, we can't offer you a hardship refinance," he stated simply. "Your only options are liquidation or Chapter 13 bankruptcy." Robyn let out a gasp. Kody scratched his temples and muttered obscenities. "Do you know what this will do to us on national TV?" Kody screamed. The officer shrugged, tight and uncaring. The B&B at Mary's later that day, Mary was standing at the stove in her warm, comfortable kitchen when her phone rang. The caller ID caught her eye. "Robyn," she replied with a deep sigh. "Mary," Robyn said in a voice so raw it almost broke. "I need help. We're in trouble. The house, the bills." Mary abruptly interrupted her. "I'm not a bank, Robyn. I don't owe you anything anymore." Click. Quiet. Robyn gazed at her phone as though it had deceived her. Janelle's apartment on that particular evening, Janelle's living room was filled with laughter. Sitting around the television, she and her sons watched a Sister Wives rerun. Abruptly, a news scroll moved across the screen's bottom. In the financial hot water, Kody and Robyn Brown's $2,220 collection notice sparks talk of bankruptcy. Janelle smiled mischievously as she lifted her glass. And so the crown begins to crack. Midnight in Kody and Robyn's living room by the walls. Boxes were starting to pile up. It was no longer royal in the home. It was a hollow feeling. Kody scrawled figures on a yellow paper while Robyn sat knees to her chest on the couch. "We sell the gun collection, the watches, and what?" murmured Robyn. "You want me to sell my jewelry next?" Kody's eyes sprang up. "Do you think I care anymore?" "Robyn, we're going to lose this house." She wiped her eyes. "This house was supposed to be proof that you loved me. That I was worth something after everything." Kody hesitated. His jaw tightened at anything she said. "And what about me? What am I worth now?" The mansion was silent. Next day's TLC production trailer, two producers were having a hushed argument inside a cluttered TLC production trailer. "We can't keep airing this fluff," one person stated. "They're drowning in debt. It's bad optics. They need the show to survive," the other person said. "Let it implode on camera." Day in the Browns' dining room, Aurora entered with a receipt in her hand. "Mom, did you really order $700 in skincare last month?" Robyn's face turned completely white. "You weren't supposed to see that." Kody blew up. "Are you kidding me? While we're talking about bankruptcy." Robyn broke down and sobbed into Aurora's hands as Aurora backed away in astonished silence. Night at Christine's home, the headline made Christine laugh as she browsed through her phone. Robyn Brown of Sister Wives finally accepts the luxurious lifestyle. Her gaze shifted to David Woolley. "Remember when she told me I was just jealous of her life?" He arched an eyebrow. "Looks like karma has a balance sheet." Kody and Robyn's morning mansion, the previously immaculate living room, was now overrun with unpaid bills, unopened mail, and an increasing stack of past due notifications as the early light streamed through partially closed curtains, creating lengthy shadows. The quiet felt oppressive. Kody held a manila packet that had just been delivered by a courier while standing barefoot close to the front entrance. He gazed intently at the label. Maricopa County Court Official Notice of Legal Action. He tore it open, his hands shaking. With her robe still on and her eyes puffy from yet another restless night, Robyn walked into the room. "Now what?" Her voice was scratchy as she asked. Kody took a while to reply. He just gave the papers to her. Kody calmly, "They are suing us. In addition to the $2,220, there are interest and legal fees. Now, they want nearly $3,000. Robyn, cracking voice, I didn't anticipate things progressing this far." Kody, "Robyn, we're officially in collections. 2 weeks from now is the court date. They can garnish what little we have left if we fail to pay or show up." He muttered to himself as he turned away in disgust. The same-day bedroom of Aurora, hunched over a laptop, Aurora sat at her desk with headphones in. A job application portal appeared on her screen. Target, Flagstaff, Arizona seasonal cashier. She glanced at the corridor as she typed rapidly. Each time she heard footsteps, she reduced the tab. "Aurora, VO. We were always the fortunate ones, according to Mom. We had the family, the house, and the future. She now cries every night, though." Dad shouts, "We don't even have enough money for gas to leave." Over the submit application button, her fingers lingered. Then she pressed the button. "VO Aurora's own Teed. I no longer wish to live this way." In the afternoon, Mary's B&B and alarm buzzed on Mary's phone while she was sitting at her computer, updating the website for her in. Request for new interview. Public reaction panel on Kody and Robyn's financial disaster. She grinned. She FaceTimed Janelle a few seconds later. "Mary, they want us to voice our opinions. A panel for a network. Live. Next week." "Janelle, are you serious? On television?" "Mary, not much would need to be said. Just the facts." Janelle paused, followed by a gradual smile. "Let's get started. Finally, let's discuss what Robyn did with all of that family cash." The same-time producer meeting room at TLC headquarters, video showing Kody and Robyn's collapsing finances was examined by two senior officials. Exec 1, the number of viewers has increased. However, this is risky area. Threats from the law. Bankruptcy. Lawsuits. Exec 2, don't make any more progress, but give them another season. No initial cash flow. Only after filming do they get paid per episode. Exec 1, what if they say no? Exec 2, Christine is here. Janelle. Mary. The Titanic is not necessary for the show to continue. Evening at Kody and Robyn's kitchen. Kody paced in circles while Robyn sobbed silently into her hands. "Robyn, this cannot be made public. What are people going to say?" Kody, Robyn, it's public. Screenshots can be seen anywhere on Reddit. The designers of TikTok are discussing our furniture payments. Aurora came in abruptly with her phone in her hand. Aurora, I was hired. At Target. Stunned, Robyn turned. Robyn, what? Aurora, I submitted an application. We require funds. I want to assist. Robyn, crying, you shouldn't be required to. You're a kid. We are burdened by this. Kody, perhaps we wouldn't be here if we educated the children to live within their means. Aurora winced. Robyn's face became red. Robyn, you have no right to hold my kids accountable for your bad choices. Kody, mine? Robyn, I'm the only one who has ever held an actual job. While I went broke defending your empire, you played queen. A week later, TV Studios Live broadcast a light-filled studio. Lights, cameras. Mary, Janelle, and 2 financial specialists make up the panel of guests. Presenter The Sister Wives storyline takes a somber financial turn tonight. According to reports, Robyn and Kody owe thousands of dollars and are being sued. Mary and Janelle Brown will be joining us. Mary repositioned her microphone. With composure and a faint blaze in her eyes, Janelle seated. Host Stowe and Teed, let's begin with you, Mary. What became of the family's joint finances? Mary, let's be honest. Years ago, Kody began depleting joint accounts to cover Robyn's housing costs. She was limitless. We left with nothing, the rest of us. They took their debt with them. Janelle and they continued to spend. We posed inquiries. We were shut down. What they wanted to say was fund Robyn, not family unity. The host seems astonished. Twitter took off instantly. The living room of Kody and Robyn at the same time. Robyn broke down in tears as she watched the show. White with anger, Kody sat next to her. Kody, I was betrayed by them. On the national channel. Robyn, in whispers, they were honest. He made a sudden turn. Kody, what? Robyn, Kody, they were honest. We made advantage of them. You made advantage of them. And now all that's left are bills and cameras. Midnight backyard in the chilly night. Kody stood by himself and gazed at the sky in Arizona. He had a for sale sign in his hands. He planted it in the grass at the edge of their yard and moved toward the gate. Kody, though, perhaps I ought to have paid attention. We might not have needed royalty. Perhaps we needed to be humble. However, it is now too late. The mansion serves as a jail. The crown has already been pawned. Kody and Robyn's mansion. Morning Flagstaff. The once grand Flagstaff estate was bathed in a drab gray hue as the sun rose behind clouds. With her silk robe crumpled and mascara smudged under weary eyes, Robyn sat by herself in the formal dining room. For a dinner that no one had touched, the table was still set. Impatiently and sharply, the doorbell rang. A gray-suited process server welcomed her as she carefully unlocked it. Server for process Brown, Robyn Sullivan? Robyn stopped. Server for process Owen Teed, we've taken care of you. After giving her an envelope, he turned to leave. She sagged to the floor without even peering inside. The envelope was progressively panned in by the camera. Arizona Regional Small Business Lending Corporation is the plaintiff. Claim: jewelry venture defaulted loan, $12,480 outstanding int. 2 years earlier. Robyn's own office sitting in a cozy workspace with candles. Robyn looked over drawings of rings and necklaces. A vision board with the words, My Sister Wife's Closet 2.0, coming 2023, was posted to the wall. She glanced at a written loan agreement after tapping her pen against a calculator. She signed her name with a slightly shaking hand. Vio Robyn, I believed that I could reconstruct something for myself. I believed that I might be more than Kody's previous spouse. I wanted to demonstrate my worth and my ability to provide income for us once more. The room of Aurora that night after her first shift at Target, Aurora came back with her hair pushed up and her red shirt wrinkled. Still trembling, Robyn waited on her bed. Aurora let her luggage fall. Aurora, don't begin. I'm worn out. Robyn, I never intended for you to bear this load, Aurora. I made a mistake. I wanted to give it all to you. Taking off her shoes, Aurora snorted. Aurora, I have a house full of tension because of you, as well as secrets. And shouting. I have to pay for your mistakes now, and we have to be careful. Robyn winced. Aurora, Owen Teed, you gave me the impression that we were superior to everyone else. that we had everything. However, we're in worse shape than Christine, Janelle, and Mary. They're at least free. After grabbing her headphones, she slammed the door and walked out of the room. Robyn gasped as she sobbed into her hands. I'm so sorry. Mary's B&B day after on the breakfast bar was the local newspaper. Exclusive. A covert business deal backfires after Robyn Brown defaulted on jewelry loan. Mary's phone was already ringing with calls from the press and producers as she calmly read the headline. Ignoring them, she sent Janelle a text. Mary, text. It's falling apart more quickly than I anticipated. Text back. Janelle, just now TLC called. They have a spin-off available. No, Kody. No, Robyn. Stunned, Mary gazed at the television. Her hands shook a little, and then she typed reply. Mary, text. Let's have a conversation. Afterwards, during that week, at Christine's house sitting next to David Woolley, Christine had a Zillow listing open on her laptop. The residence was Robyn's. David, you're joking. Are they genuinely attempting to sell? Christine, they are in a grave situation. I'm tempted too. Curious, David turned to her. Christine continued. Just think of how poetic it would be if I owned that location. After she had taken everything. Following her entire statement, the contact agent button was clicked by her. TLC Studio. Private meeting space. TLC execs were seated across from Janelle, Mary, and Christine. In front of them, contracts were open. The executive, this is what we're suggesting. Life After Kody is a 6-part series. Your lives now, you three. The reconstruction. The reality. He's gone. Robyn is too. Christine's eyebrows went up. And if they wish to return, the executive they will need to try out. Or return humble. What about that mansion? After you purchase it, you might want to use it for a reunion. There was laughter. Robyn and Kody's mansion. Night walls were lined with boxes. Staring at the listing on her phone, Robyn sat at the kitchen island. Kody, his typical fire extinguished, came in with a beer. Robyn, Christine is interested in purchasing the home. Stunned, Kody sat. Kody, over my lifeless body. Robyn, if we don't sell, we won't be around. The remaining funds are gone. The truck doesn't even have enough gas for you to travel to Utah and plead with your boys for assistance. Kody remained silent. Final scene. Confessional room. Kody sat quietly. A long silence. Kody, they all went. The spouses. The children. The supporters. The money comes next. He gave a quick breath. Kody, oh indeed. The home is all that remains of me. And even that is no longer mine. In the confessional chair, Robyn is shown. Robyn, I made an effort to be the devoted wife. The adhesive. The mediator. However, I might have just sunk the ship. Late afternoon. Flagstaff. Kody and Robyn's mansion, the Brown family estate, was softly lit by the brilliant Arizona sun, yet the shadows were longer than ever inside. With her hands smeared with tears and ink from signing yet another round of sale paperwork, Robyn sat on the floor of the living room, surrounded by open boxes marked living room decor, master closet, and jewelry miscellaneous. Kody kept his phone close to his ear as he strode by the window. Kody, yes, I am aware of the comparisons, but this house has greater emotional value. It has been broadcast nationally for more than 10 years. That must mean something, doesn't it? A rhythm. Kody owned. What are you offering? Incredulous, he dropped the phone and gazed at it. Robyn, who was that? Kody, the realtor for Christine. She just offered. Robyn, standing slowly. What sort of offer? Kody gazed at her for a moment before muttering, Kody, $520,000. Robyn let out a gasp. Robyn, that's almost double the value of this house. She's attempting to make us look bad. Kody, we are being humiliated by her. What's the worst? No one else is biting. The market is collapsing, and the debt collectors are phoning. Robyn buried her face in her hands and fell into the couch. The same evening at Christine's new residence, Christine looked almost radiant. She waved a copy of the house offer in the air while holding a glass of sparkling cider in front of her kids. Christine, it's petty, I know. However, this just feels right after all the suffering, the deception, and the gaslighting. Michael T, will you be the owner of Robyn's castle? Christine, perhaps. If they are sufficiently desperate. They all laughed triumphantly, not viciously. It was the sound of a woman taking back her tranquility. 2 days later, Flagstaff, Janelle's old rental, now empty back lot. Kody was standing behind Janelle's old rental house on a dusty lot. A brand new RV sat clumsily in the harsh sunlight. As he kicked a rock and faced the TLC cameras, the heat twisted the air. "Kody, this is the place where I will currently reside. An RV with no power yet. No water connection. Well, freedom, isn't it?" A phony smile never made it to his eyes. "Kody, this gear and a storage container filled with dashed hopes are all I have left. Until the house sells, Robyn will remain there. We don't communicate much. Not after accusing me of being responsible for the loan default." Room of Aurora. Night Aurora silently zipped her suitcase shut as she stood next to it. She paused, sighed, and turned to face her childhood bedroom. Her room, which was before furnished with pricey artwork and delicate pinks, now felt like a museum dedicated to someone else's history. With her luggage in hand, she crept into the hallway and placed a folded letter on Robyn's bedside table. "I can't do this anymore, even though I love you. I have to take a breath. I'm going to Hannah's. Don't call until you're ready to tell me the truth, please." Aurora. Hours later, Robyn would discover it and break down. The living room in Robyn and Kody's mansion for next day in Aurora's vacant room. Robyn rocked back and forth while holding the message and repeatedly saying, "No, no, no." Her hands shook. When she finally came downstairs, Kody was eating cereal out of a throwaway dish. Robyn. Aurora has left. Kody. Her age is 21. She is capable of making her own choices. Robyn. Are you indifferent? Kody. Robyn, I'm too exhausted to act like this any longer. We're being devoured. She's now wise enough to leave before she becomes like us. Robyn gave him a look. There was a long pause. Then something broke inside of her. She picked up the closest lamp and threw it against the wall, causing the ceramic base to split in two and the glass to shatter. The hall reverberated with the collision. "Robyn, for this family, I made a sacrifice. I gave you my life, my body, and my credit. And suddenly, as if I'm the issue, everyone is ignoring me?" Kody winced but remained silent. No shout could overpower the hush between them. A week later, TLC studio, executive meeting in a dimly lit conference room. 3 producers watched preliminary clips of the most recent video. Robyn's mascara-streaked visage melted on screen as her breakdown replayed repeatedly. Executive 1 on camera. She is unraveling. Executive number 2, this is now tragedy rather than merely drama. Without significant action, we cannot continue to broadcast this. Executive number 3, if we don't reinterpret it. The others pivoted. The third executive, so indeed. What if the series is changed? From multiple marriages to living. In Sister Wives, rebuilding from rubble. Pay attention to the ladies who left. Christine, Janelle, and Mary. Show his downfall and their ascent. Night at Mary's B&B. Mary saw a fresh trending headline as she browsed through her phone. Robyn has a public breakdown, and Kody Brown lives in an RV. Fans want TLC to end the couple. Grinning, she switched off the phone. Final scene. Robyn's front yard with Flagstaff in the grass was a fresh sign. Under contract, pending sale, Robyn watched movers transport her bulky furniture into a leased storage van while she stood on the porch with her arms folded. Arms limp, Kody stood on the pavement and gazed off into the distance. A black SUV arrived. Christine went outside. Christine, smiling tightly. The keys must be delivered before Friday. Refusing to meet her gaze, Robyn turned away. Christine produced a packet containing signed and sealed closing documents. Christine continued, when things come full circle, it's funny. Robyn's voice sounded like broken china as Christine approached the front door. Robyn, we were ruined by you. Christine pivoted, composed yet ferocious. Christine, Robyn, no. That's what you did. I simply stopped acting as though I had to forgive you. She walked into the house, her home, and shut the door. Robyn Brown was sitting at the edge of her pricey 4-poster bed in the mansion that used to represent security, but now reverberated with the weight of rising debt, wide awake as the Flagstaff sun had just started to rise. She gripped her phone and gazed over a spreadsheet that Janelle had sent her days before. In comparison to the price of their house, $2,220 might have appeared insignificant, but it was just the beginning. The expenses she had previously referred to as comforts The credit cards, the utilities, and the property taxes were now chains. They were bankrupt, and she could no longer deny it, emotionally as well as financially. In an attempt to think clearly, Kody had taken the kids out for the day, but Robyn knew he was running away once more. He had been going in a downward spiral, accusing Christine, Janelle, Mary, and the media. However, he had never once examined himself. Furthermore, the guy who had previously assured her of safety, wealth, and a unified family was now unable to even give her peace of mind. The only sound in the kitchen was the hum of the stainless steel appliances. Robyn's eyes filled with tears as she opened her cabinet, which was formerly brimming with pricey snacks and healthy beverages, but was now half empty. She looked at her wedding photo on the wall, which showed Kody grinning widely and her children blending in with his, creating the appearance of a single family. It seemed to be a holdover from a bygone era. She understood what had to happen as the clock struck 9 in the morning. Taking her laptop, she opened the home bills and started listing the things she wanted to sell. Designer handbags, hardly worn gowns, and pricey jewelry that Kody had previously showered her with as assurances had to go. Her pride took a hit with each mouse click. The elaborate mirror in the entryway was sold by her. The ornamental dining room chairs were never used. She once told the television team that the Christmastown miniatures were even symbols of family tradition. Aurora was shocked to see the living room half empty when she entered later that afternoon. "Mom? What are you doing?" Robyn took a while to respond. She refrained from crying. "Honey, we need to change. Large ones." With a worried expression on her face, Aurora dropped her backpack. "Will the house be lost?" Robyn told the truth. "Not now. We may. It's hardly the end of the world, though." For the first time in months, she gave herself permission to be honest. Kody, meantime, was sitting in his truck in a fast food restaurant parking lot, looking through real estate ads on his phone, not to make a purchase but to imagine escaping. He was too proud to tell anyone that they couldn't even afford their current lifestyle, much less another home. Mary had offered him a loan, but he had turned it down. Years ago, Christine had advised him to downsize, but he had disregarded it. Now he had a mound of anger from the rest of his family and a wife who was finally starting to recognize the holes in their fantasy. Robyn got a notification at home that her initial inventory had sold. With a peculiar mixture of relief and embarrassment brewing in her chest, she gazed at the alerts. It was just the start. Mary's call and the last deciphering Robyn's quiet, resonant home was covered in lengthy shadows as the sun in Flagstaff began to drop. With its vibrant decorations, exotic rugs, and festive spirit, the formerly bustling mansion was now half empty. The quiet was no longer serene. The sound was overwhelming. She had sold everything, giving up the idea she had held on to with each transaction. Gone were the crystal candlesticks, the opulent chairs, and the antique armoire Robyn insisted on keeping for heirloom purposes. The phone suddenly rang. She paused. Mary. Robyn felt sick to her stomach. Just the name was significant. Years of unresolved conflict, a sour sister-wife relationship, and then nothing. Months of silence. After ultimately ending her spiritual marriage to Kody, Mary had remained distant. But she was phoning now. Robyn picked up slowly. Hey. Mary spoke in a cold, collected tone. I've heard that you're struggling. Her tone lacked sympathy but also lacked malice. Robyn closed her eyes, her cheeks already starting to get hot. I'm not sure what you've heard. I've heard enough, Mary said softly. That you are being drained by the house. That you are living off fumes, as is Kody. That you requested that the children refrain from using the air conditioner. Disgraced. Robyn bit her lip. That's not totally. Mary said what sounded almost like a sigh. I'm not here to boast. I want you to grasp something, which is why I'm phoning. Robyn took a deep breath. You contributed to its construction, Mary stated bluntly. You contributed to Kody's exclusion from the rest of us. You made it possible for him. When he neglected his obligations, you did nothing. You're finally recognizing that you are never protected now that the money is gone. Similar to the rest of us. It was a slap of words. Robyn blinked quickly, tears already starting to form. I made an effort to have faith in the family. In the dream, Robyn muttered. No, replied Mary sternly. You had faith in your interpretation of the family. You were a believer in preferential treatment. You had faith in that hilltop mansion. You're now forced to live with a man who has ruined all of your relationships. Quiet. Mary's voice then became softer. Robyn, I'm not your adversary. I won't save you, though. Never again. This is something that you and Kody will have to deal with. You will also need to find out how to escape it on your own. Similar to what Janelle accomplished. Similar to what I did. She ended the call. Robyn sat with her hands shaking and her eyes fixed on the screen. Kody was experiencing his own meltdown across town. He paced and muttered as he sat in the dark garage, surrounded by unopened boxes of memorabilia from years of filming the program. It wasn't meant to be like this. God did not want this. We were fortunate. The covenant was with us. His legacy was reduced to clutter as he slammed his fist into a box and toppled a stack of Sister Wives DVDs. That morning, he had contacted Gabe, one of the children. Tried to describe his predicament. He had stated, I just need you to understand what I'm going through. However, Gabe said in a chilly tone, we all experienced it. You simply failed to notice. Kody was falling apart. Robyn sat at the kitchen table that evening, which had lost its glossy luster and centerpiece. When Kody finally returned home, she turned to face him, his hair unkempt and his eyes bloodshot. We require assistance, she muttered. He yelled, I'm not asking Mary. She said, I'm not asking anyone. We must assist ourselves. Something changed in Robyn at that very moment. For the first time, she understood that she couldn't use delusions, tears, or pleading to save the life she had created. The family had left. The funds had vanished. There was no longer any assistance. The only thing left was to survive. And without Kody setting the example, she would have to figure out how to do it. Kody's breakdown intensifies as Robyn confronts reality. The silence that clung to the furniture like dust was illuminated by the early morning sun that came through Robyn's house's partially closed windows. For the first time in a long time, she was awake before the children. The house was not being prepared for another shoot by the TLC production crew, stylists, or housekeepers. Robyn was barefoot and holding a broken coffee mug, one of the few items remaining from the original Vegas home, in the kitchen. She wasn't afraid of the silence for once. She was grounded by it. Her cell rang. A notification from the hosting website My Sister Wife's Closet. Remember, if you don't pay, your site will be permanently deleted in 48 hours. With her thumb poised, Robyn gazed at the notification. It has been almost 2 years since she last updated the website. She used to be proud of it. She aspired to be an entrepreneur rather than merely the last wife. A brand. A persona. However, years of denial and reliance on Kody's hollow promises had engulfed that, along with a lot of other things. With a groan, she dismissed the alert. Kody slammed the bathroom door across the house. She heard a heavy object hitting the floor with a muffled thump. Slowly, Robyn padded down the hall. Kody. No response. Gently, she opened the door. He was sitting naked and unkempt on the tiled floor, leaning back against the tub, with the damaged vanity mirror above him shattering his reflection into sharp fragments. His hands were shaking, his eyes bloodshot as he gazed up at her. He rasped, I don't know who I am anymore. Robyn knelt next to him. You're Kody. You continue to be their father. You remain my spouse. He gave a head shake. No, I'm not the father of anyone. Not at all. No more. I left everything behind. From everybody.